What I always say is that all history is based on geography. It was built, as I understand, in 1761, and it was known as the Witherspoon Inn. One thing that you sort of need to know a little is, like, why would it be logical to have a tavern there at that particular place? It's because Middletown grew up as a crossroads town. East and West Main Street form the shortest shortcut across the Delmarva Peninsula.
It used to be a midway point for a lot of people. So like when the Revolutionary War was going on, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington would stop in here, stay up on their way to go into Philadelphia.
Thomas Jefferson kept a meticulous diary of all of his expenses and, you know, where he went and everything. So Thomas Jefferson was there in 1775. George Washington came there twice in 1784.
That's the original threshold. So like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington all stepped on that threshold to get to this bar.
What is known now as Sully's at the Witherspoon for a long time was known as the Middletown Hotel.
They've always been like apartments or a hotel. And this was always just like the hotel bar type of thing. So the owner kind of kept it like that. So like for 200 and some odd years, like it's always been the Middletown bar.
A lot of girls stayed at this hotel and then were bussed up to Elkton every day to work in the explosives kind of factory, you know, a place where they made ammunition for the war. This is where they were housed, apparently. Then in the 1830s, it was bought by a man named Robert A. Cochran. He had ended up fighting in the Seminole Wars, and he came back in the late 1830s or early 1840s. He took over the hotel and improved it. It became a Southern sympathizer kind of bar. In the mid-1800s, there was another hotel built called the National Hotel, and that was near the railroad tracks. And that was for Northern sympathizers. Then in 1946, it was a Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1946, there was a major fire in the building. And the fire had started a few doors down, but then it extended over to the roof and the second floor of what's now Sully's. Then right after the fire, then it was modernized to pretty much the way it looks now, more or less the way it looks now.
That brick is the original brick to the building. So like that's 200-year-old brick.
There's a sort of a famous early story. A man named James Knight came in drunk and was refused a drink by Witherspoon because he figured, no, you've had enough. But then this James Knight pulled out his pistol and made several attempts to kill the owner. The weapon missed fire both times, and then to save himself, Witherspoon reached above the bar and took down a horse pistol with which he shot and killed in the bar room. It was only very recently, like maybe, 2 years ago or something, that the state decided to put the sign out in front of the tavern, you know, talking about how historical it was. And then it was in 2009 that Mr. Sullivan, also known as Sully, came from Ohio and took over the hotel and really become a lot more, you know, mainstream and just, it's a great place to have lunch, meet a friend or whatever. But I'm just really glad that we finally have a nice ending to that story.